It seems that he made a number of fairly bold claims, not just about how he's going to complete infrastructure and reshape the taxation system and bring the kids back to school and defeat COVID at the same time. Was there much detail there, and was it very convincing?
I think overall it was a pretty convincing speech. I mean, I have to say we're fairly positive on the outlook for the Philippines under Marcos. I was struck you were both just talking about balancing acts, and I think you can summarize what Marcos is going to try to do in his first term as trying to balance two things. One is obviously reduce poverty and reduce unemployment, and he wants to get the Philippines to sort of upper middle income status by the time he leaves office. At the same time, he's got one of the largest fiscal deficits in Southeast Asia, and he needs to trim that. So, the administration has talked about trying to grow out of the problem. But obviously, it's going to have to look at some tax rises, as you're alluding to, although I think the emphasis will be on those being gradual and not sort of ones that will hit the poorest.
Tax rises at a time when fuel prices are going up and when they're having economic troubles and, as you say, debt problems would seem to be an interesting approach. But again, it's the detail here that matters. I mean, these are the kind of promises that you would expect a politician to be making at this stage in the cycle. But did he tell us how he's going to do it?
No, I mean, there's still uncertainty over the precise details of his policy packages. I mean, we understand that more will be set out in the coming days. I think some reassurance is provided, though, by the fact that he has appointed a very strong economic team. Finance minister, other ministers are all very experienced technocrats, very credible. And we're already seeing signs that they will push back against any sort of populist measures, such as any suggestion of cutting subsidies and the like. So I think there will be fiscal discipline installed in this government. And I think, the government sort of tax rises will be more areas such as, further reforms in the areas of property, capital, and looking at new taxes in the digital space, things that won't necessarily directly affect the cost of living for most people. But of course, these may not be large revenue generators. I don't think his spending promises are huge, though, at least compared to the competitors he had in the presidential race. So I think it's perfectly plausible that he can stick to a path of gradual fiscal consolidation.